because I can't really remember. I think it was maybe 5 years ago. Either way, when I was smoking, I used to be thinking I was tripping because I literally would hear God more clearly. But it was more of a conviction. It wasn't like it was a good thing that I was hearing him. It was more so like he wanted me to stop. He wanted me to stop so that I could get clear and get focused on him and to surrender to him. And when you high, you just think like, oh my goodness, you so paranoid. So you like, was that really God? And like, God wouldn't speak to me while I'm high. Yes, he will. He'll speak to you whenever he can speak to you. It doesn't matter. So I just thought that was important for me to share that testimony, because once I stopped smoking weed, everything became clear to me. Like everything. I started to hear God's voice even more clearly. I started to surrender to God. I started to feel like everything that God wanted for me was right at the tips of my fingers, and I can just feel it. But I couldn't see it when I was smoking because everything was so cloudy, and I was dependent upon the weed to make me feel a certain way. But I didn't never really take the time to, to reevaluate my life to say, is this good for me or is this bad for me or what? I just did it, and I never really thought about whether it was bad or good. I just knew that that's what I knew and that's what I was doing since I was a teenager. But once I stopped, it was like everything became clear. So I haven't looked back since. I don't miss it at all. I'm in a better state of mind now that my mind is clear. And I don't care what anyone says. Smoking weed definitely made me have a short-term memory loss, because now I can't remember things. And I know that it's because I smoke weed. A lot of people probably won't agree with it, because there's a lot of people that believe that smoking weed is good for you because it's, from the earth and all those different things. And I'm not here to judge you because I'm not God. However, I just know what worked for me and what didn't work for me. And I know that didn't work for me at all. So, but basically, to get to the point of this whole episode is how I surrender. How I surrender was simple, but it was still kind of hard. So the first thing I did was I started to pray, and I started to pray constantly about the business. I started to pray to ask God to not let me make it an idol, because I didn't want to think about my business more than I thought about God. I wanted to put him back on the throne. I wanted him to be the leader and the head of my life. And I didn't want to think about this business all day, every day, and stressing like I was before I submitted. So I just started to pray. I asked God to take over. I asked him to help me to surrender. I asked him to give me wisdom on how to surrender the business to him. And every time I would think about the business in a negative way throughout the day, I would say out loud, God, you have control over this business. This is your business. I give it back to you, and I take it off of me and give it back to you. And so that would help me not think about it all day long and stress over it and worry about, why I don't have a lot of clients or why my book isn't full or whatever. So I prayed, and I just asked him to help me get through this, to help me to surrender everything to him, and to show me the areas that I need to let go of control. And so he showed me that if I let go of control of, worrying about getting people on my book, that he would fill my book. But he was also doing a work in me. He was working on my issues, because I had issues. So a lot of times God won't send you a whole lot of clients if you have a lot of issues. So some of my issues was not being on time. Some of my issues was being lazy and not wanting to do certain things. Some of my issues was a pride issue. Some of my issues was my attitude. I had a lot of different issues going on. So as I was going through that slow season, the season of being empty and not having a lot of clients, God was working on me, so that when he brought me the clients, I would steward well over the clients. Because not only do you have to steward well over the money that he gives you, you have to steward well over all of the clients that he sends you. That means constantly praying for them. That means constantly treating them with respect and kindness and love and gentleness. That means setting boundaries for yourself, but also being good to the people that he sends your way. And so I can honestly say that over these years, right now in the space that I am in, I am better. I'm more busier than ever. I have a clientele now. I have the money now. I have all of the things that I prayed for. But like I always say, we go to from glory to glory. So I know that there's a next. So now I'm in the season of feeling another shift coming on. I have no idea what it's going to look like for me, but there is another shift that is getting ready to take place, because I feel that same tugging that God was giving and pulling on me. So I just really can't wait to come back and share with you all the testimonies of what God is doing in my life. But the main ways that I surrendered was to just pray. That was it. I prayed about it. I let it go. And every time I wanted to take control again, I would pray and ask God to help me not to take control. And once I did that, God has been blowing my mind. I have so much peace. He's exceeded my expectations on everything that I thought I wanted. And He's getting me ready for whatever's next. Praying and fasting has also helped me to surrender, because when you pray and fast, it helps you to kill your flesh. It helps you to kill all the things that you think that you're supposed to be in control of, that you're really not in control of. So I am done with this episode. I pray that it encouraged you, and I just have a little bit of homework for you, and that is just to start praying daily about your business, to pray daily about God, helping you to surrender your business over to Him. And it's hard because we're so used to taking control. We're so used to going to get it. We're so used to hustling and bustling. And I'm not saying that you still shouldn't promote yourself or post your pictures, but just don't make it an idol. Don't make it a thing that you think about all day long to where you're getting sick and tired and stressed out. Because God is a God that gives us peace. He made a covenant with us that we would have peace. So we wouldn't have all this confusion and frustration. So I love you all, and I pray that you would begin to surrender your business to God, just as I have. And I love you. Take care, and I will talk to you guys next week. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. If you enjoyed the podcast, please like it, subscribe to it, and share it with all of your friends.